Hey there everyone, welcome back to Habitat. The game has updated for the first time, since it was created a week ago or whatever. Anyway, this update adds a couple new weapons to the game and a few new resources that you have to keep track of. So let's go about making a ship and checking those out. Alright. So we have different things to begin with. There's only one of these Omni thrusters around. That's kind of a shame. I would hope that there would be more, but whatever, I guess. I'm sure we can sail around and find one eventually. So let's go about building our ship. Now, you already can see some of the new weapons that there are around. There's a Dubwoofer, which is one of my favorite weapons, by the way. There's fireball hands, a circular saw, industrial sized. And there is a gas trailer. Now, some of these resources, these materials that you can build with, will give you the new resources that you need to operate, such as the gas trailer. There is now fuel in the game, and electricity. You automatically keep regenerating these resources still. Something I wish wasn't really the case because it'd make the game a lot more interesting, but I do not begrudge the fact that it is happening because this is an early game. And as such, it likely is difficult to... Well, actually not really difficult. Might just not be a good decision to get those more advanced things in the game yet. Let's go ahead and attach this Dubwoofer. We will put it on the front. So, this Omni thruster, actually, change that Dubwoofer location. We'll put the Omni thruster up front, and then we'll put the Dubwoofer in front of that. This gas trailer, I will do my best to connect it here. Now, it is a 20 mass object, and most of the objects around me are either way heavier than that or smaller than that. So I think what I'll do is, after I get this attached, I'll move these fireball hands, and we're gonna try our best to make the balance of this thing as good as we can get it. Okay, Dubwoofer goes on front. Now, in case you didn't guess, these fireball hands clearly are a reference. We rotate them around and click on them. If you can guess what the reference is, you win! I don't know what you win, but you win. So be happy. And that's more strengthened. Okay, so our basic ship is almost finished. Let's just get a couple more connectors in place. Make sure things are not going to go flying off too easily. So, now that I have everything connected to my ship that I really feel like having at the moment, let's talk about one of the mechanics that has changed that I'm really happy about. Remember how before you can only bind things like 1, 2, 3 and you'd use up all 10 slots of your keyboard? Now, if you hold Control-Shift and press the number group that you want to bind things to, you can have multiple objects bound to the same key, which is great. Let's assign the fireball hands to 2, double for to 3, and that to 4. This tank does nothing except generate fuel for us, although it probably will explode if it gets hit too much. So, the resources that we generate now, aside from these: Omni, fuel, and electricity. Now, firing your engines, like so, will consume fuel over time, for as long as they are active. Turning on certain weapons, like the fireball or the tank, will use Omni. Other weapons will use the electricity, like the Dubstep. And I love the fact that it does play dubstep, so that's pretty awesome. Okay, so let's take our oddly constructed ship into battle for the first time. And we'll open our initial assault with the dubstep cannon, because it is a fairly interesting weapon. Doesn't really do what you expect it to do. Mainly it's low damage, but it destroys the structural integrity of the opponent's ship quite easily. Which is great if you're attacking a fairly passive station and just want to be able to collect some of the rockets that they have. I'm just going to go ahead and blow the station up, and we are unfortunately close enough that this is going to cause some serious damage to us if the ship were to explode. So let's try backing away as best we can. Now, my ship does fly surprisingly straight for being so wonky. Let's blast the ship with a fireball. Almost got you. If I can just rotate a little more. It sucks having only one Omni thruster. There we go. That blew it off. And there goes my Dubstep, but it's a small price to pay. We destroyed an enemy ship. And gave us a little bit more breathing room. Honestly, the fireball hands might be the most powerful weapon you can get if it's nearby, because it has a very long range. It does unfortunately use quite a bit of Omni, which seems to be a little bit harder to generate, but small prices. So other than that, the game hasn't really changed too much. You can assign multiple engineers to an object that you're bringing back. Speaking of...
Roger, moving to new location.
Okay, they merged together. So if I were to be bringing back this T-Rex head, I can click on this guy to go help out, and they should bring it back a lot faster. Let's just watch for a moment, see what the speed change looks like. It's slightly faster. Not much, but you'll get things here sooner. So, that's all good. Let's see now. Oh, and things like flamethrowers, they use fuel for powers, for shooting things. Now, I have had a couple bugs still with the engineers and their ability to gather resources, such as the cruise ships. I had 7 engineers die just getting near the cruise ship, because what would happen is they would clip into the cruise ship, and that would start causing them to take a lot of damage. Not very cool. And I believe that if your engineers die, they do still count towards your engineer limit, which does suck quite a bit. Let's see, this does produce fuel, but it is a risky thing to attach to our ship. Because that definitely is an explosive, as we found out last time I was playing this game. However, I could use it to offset the... Well, that's kind of an interesting formation. I'll go with it, I guess. I can use it to offset this laser beam that I want to use for a weapon, so... It'll have to do. Let's grab ourselves another engineer and send him over to help out with that gas tank. Oh, jeez! Okay, so apparently if you put a connector through an object, it will make things go kaboom. Lesson learned the hard way. Well, that's fine. I'll have a new fuel tank again, and I am down a thruster, which does suck. Let's stop our entire ship from moving, shall we? However, I can take this booster rocket. No, I can't. It's still attached. They're attached together, so I can't touch them. That sucks so much. That one's too light. That one's too heavy. Alright, I appear to have made myself quite vulnerable. Okay, so what I'll do then, since I can't really do much else, is I will take this food truck, I will attach it somewhere around here. I'll send my other engineers to help bring it back faster. I guess this booster rocket's gonna have to stay offline. And is there any sign of that cloud of death? Ooh, there is. It's over there. Yeah, these things are still quite dangerous, because maneuvering your ship is very awkward, especially when you do not have as much omni thrusters as you did in the previous version of the game. If I were to get a laser prism unit though and attach it to the left side with the laser, I should be able to do a broadside style attack. That is a very awkward mass. That's 16. Most things in this game do not break down that easily. Well, I brought my food truck back. Reinforce the connections. And the particle accelerator. An interesting weapon. It's a very interesting weapon. Not very practical either. That's as reinforces I'm going to be able to get that thing.
Roger. Moving to new location. Roger. Damage node.
I have a few damaged bits to repair on my ship.
Roger. Moving to new location. Damaged node. Roger.
Thanks to exploding myself off of that
Roger.
fuel tank.
Moving to new location.
Is that cloud getting closer? No, it's not. Good. They can stay over there. Alright, so I have a very unbalanced center of thrust. So we're just gonna have to make do, and let's see. Over here's a laser beam, there's food trucks. There's food trucks everywhere. I wonder how these got out here. I suppose if I get two big booster rockets, I can attach them to the outside. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so rotate the ship. And fire up our only forward thrust. Which does suck because mass does affect your acceleration. Let's see. While that's going, we can take a look around, see what else there is around here. There's the tether launcher. Cyborg Lady Liberty. It's a normal boost rocket, but that's a little bit far out. My ship is veering off course. That is not a good sign. And there's little I can do about it. So, yeah. I guess that's kind of gonna be it. Oh well, it's a real shame, but what can you do? I suppose I could just blow off all my weapons and rely on my T-Rex head to be my only form of defense. But I don't feel like it. Instead, I'll just end this episode because I already covered everything that's in this update. There's little point in me continuing on. Well, I'll end this episode showing exactly how this particle accelerator works. Or matter accelerator. Let's assign it a number.
Roger. Moving to new location. Roger. Moving to new location.
You know, it said that it's sped up when you add more guys to it, but these guys are just kind of floating along and being drugged behind it.
Roger. Moving to new location.
I'm wondering if that was actually implemented or if it was just talked about. Jeez, lag. There. Okay, now that guy's actually thrusting. So, to end this, best way to do this mass accelerator, attach your object inside you want to launch off. We're going to leave this guy attached because it's kind of funny to me to do so. Destroy the connector and then bye-bye! Off into the distance, never to be seen by us again. Unless we follow it. It's a very interesting weapon, and it is pretty effective, especially when you're using explosive tanks. You know, you probably can use those explosive tanks if you put them on a timer. Let's give that a try, shall we? That'll be the last thing I do. I want to know if this will work. Nanomachine cloud. Nope, it's behind us. Well, there's nothing we can do about it because it'll take us far too long to turn around, and our weapons are rather ineffective against it. So, let's just move you over here. Now, do I still regain control of that? No. So, best way to go about with the explosive one. Control Shift 5. You can hop off. And when I do this, the connection will destroy itself, and it exploded before it actually exploded. Oh, and hey, we're actually turning around. Not fast enough, mind you, but we are turning. And slowly being bombarded as the cloud is moving around our flank, keeping far out of sight. And what the heck happened to my ship? I think that might be a good point to end on. It looks like they might be trying to get damage collision in this game, but not quite there yet. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and fave. Be sure to Hadouken your enemies to death. I will see you in the next update of this game, whenever that may be. Take care, guys, and goodbye. Bye, ship. Look at that guy pinwheeling around. It's like a horrible fair ride.